What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for MLB Wednesday, July 6th. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's MLB slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, we have an 8-game slate tonight. Now I'm doing this video a little bit early. I think all the pitchers that I'm talking about are confirmed, and I think these batters will be in the lineup, but as always, check your lineups before the games start. Okay, so at the pitcher position, the stud on the slate that I like is Aaron Nola. And he's got a nice pitching advantage here over a low salary batting team, the Washington Nationals. Aaron Nola only giving up a .497 OPS versus switch hitters. He's facing 4 switch hitters here tonight. And on top of that, the Nationals have only hit 18 of his last 104 pitches. That's only a 173 batting average and a huge sample size. Aaron Nola is $10,500 FanDuel salary, $400 less on DraftKings, averaging 39 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 39, 52, and 52 fantasy points in the last 3 games. He has an ERA of 3.13. Record is 5-5. Pitching an average of 97 pitches per game, and Vegas thinks this is going to be a low-scoring game. Only 7.5 runs scored in this game. That's their over-under. So I like Aaron Nola here versus the Washington Nationals. Now I just want to bring up Max Fried. He's got a good matchup here versus the St. Louis Cardinals. The Cardinals have only hit 6 of his last 33 pitches. That's a 182 batting average. And he's been on fire this season as well, averaging 37 fantasy points per game on the season, scoring 40, 45, and 46 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So that's another stud pick that I like, although I do prefer Aaron Nola. So let's get into one of the lower salary pitchers that I like here on the slate today. I like Merrill Kelly, and he's pitching against the San Francisco Giants. Merrill Kelly only giving up a .681 OPS versus lefties. So he pitches his best ball versus lefty batters. And he's facing 5 lefties here tonight. The Giants have hit 29 of his last 107 pitches. That's a 271 batting average. He's $8,600 FanDuel salary. And he's $1,400 less on DraftKings. Averaging 29 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 37, 21, and 43 fantasy points in the last 3 games. He has an ERA of 3.46. Record is 7-5, pitching an average of 90 pitches per game. So I like Merrill Kelly here versus the San Francisco Giants. Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $25 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won. And then we'll send you $25 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you. Okay, let's take a look at the catcher first base position. A stud that I like on the slate and a home run hitter is CJ Cron. And he's batting against Mitch White. CJ Cron is batting a .907 OPS versus righty pitchers. Mitch White giving up a .647 OPS versus righties. Now CJ Cron is 1 for 3 versus White. That one hit was for a home run. He's $4,300 FanDuel salary, $900 more on DraftKings, averaging 12 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 19, 51, and 16 fantasy points in the last 3 games. And he has scored fantasy points in all 5 of his last games. He has a batting average of .297, so I like CJ Cron here versus Mitch White. Okay, let's take a look at the second base position. I like Gavin Lux, so this is a nice value play here. Gavin Lux has an 18% batting advantage over German Marquez. Gavin Lux is batting 18% better to righty pitchers, batting a .744 OPS versus righties. German Marquez giving up a .716 OPS versus lefties. Now, Gavin Lux is 3 for 9 with a 1.011 OPS versus Marquez. He's only $2,200 FanDuel salary. He's $1,700 more on DraftKings, averaging 8 fantasy points per game on the season. And Vegas thinks this is going to be a high-scoring game. 9.5 runs scored in this game. That's their over-under. Gavin Lux has a batting average of .288, so I like Gavin Lux as a value play here versus German Marquez. Now, I also like Marcus Semien. He's got a 29% batting advantage over a low-salary pitcher, Spencer Watkins. Marcus Semien batting a .778 OPS versus righty pitchers. Spencer Watkins, he's pitching his worst ball versus righty batters, 28% worse than his pitch to lefties, giving up a .991 OPS versus righties. Now, Marcus Semien is 1 for 4 versus Watkins. He's $3,400 FanDuel salary, $1,700 more on DraftKings, averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored fantasy points in 4 out of his last 5 games, has a batting average of .238, so I like Marcus Semien here versus Spencer Watkins. Okay, let's take a look at the third base position. I like Alex Bregman, and he's batting against the low-salary pitcher Brad Keller. Alex Bregman batting 7% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .794 OPS versus righties. Brad Keller giving up a .777 OPS versus righties. Alex Bregman is 1 for 3 versus Keller. He's $3,100 FanDuel salary, $1,500 more on DraftKings, averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored fantasy points in all 5 of his last games. He has a batting average of .237, so I like Alex Bregman here versus Brad Keller. Now, here's a killer value play. He's been super underpriced the last couple of games. He's gotten 3 at-bats in the past 2 games. So take a look at Jake Lamb with a 45% batting advantage over German Marquez. Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups. Jake Lamb is batting 45% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .949 OPS versus righties. German Marquez giving up a .716 OPS versus lefties. And Jake Lamb is 13 for 36. It's a .361 batting average and a .867 OPS versus Marquez. He's only $2,000 FanDuel salary, only $300 more on DraftKings, averaging 8 fantasy points per game on the season. He has a batting average of .375. So I like Jake Lamb here versus German Marquez. Okay, let's take a look at the shortstop position. So a stud on the slate that I like is Trey Turner here versus German Marquez. Looks like there might be a good opportunity here to stack some bats against German Marquez. So that's a stud that I like, but let's take a look at a value play. I like Josh Smith with a 30% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Spencer Watkins. Josh Smith batting 58% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .789 OPS versus righties. Spencer Watkins giving up a .711 OPS versus lefties. Now there's no at-bats versus Watkins yet. Josh Smith is only $2,300 FanDuel salary. He's $1,300 more on DraftKings, averaging 7 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored fantasy points in all 5 of his last games, has a batting average of .261. So I like Josh Smith here versus Spencer Watkins. Okay, moving on to the outfield position. So there's a handful of studs that are in good spots here tonight. I like Yordan Alvarez, I like Mookie Betts, and I like Odalis Garcia. But let's take I also like JD Martinez, who actually has a pretty good price point on FanDuel. Only $3,300 FanDuel salary. He's $1,900 more on DraftKings. But he's got a 13% batting advantage here versus Corey Kluber. And JD Martinez, he's batting a .834 OPS versus righties. Corey Kluber pitching his worst ball versus righty batters, 28% worse than his other pitches, giving up a .782 OPS versus righties. Now, JD Martinez is 9 for 31. It's a .290 batting average and a .838 OPS versus Kluber. 2 of those hits were home runs. He's got a couple doubles in there. So JD Martinez is only $3,300 FanDuel salary, $1,900 more on DraftKings, averaging 11 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored fantasy points in 4 out of his last 5 games. He has a batting average of .306. So I like JD Martinez here versus Corey Kluber. If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.